Welcome to another Thoughtful Thursday. My name's Dave. We are beginning our deep dive into comparing 1 Corinthians to what we are called to do in leadership. And there's been some tremendous work done in this, but specifically I'm going to look at these next Thoughtful Thursday series, working through this from the lens of a Catholic school principal, which is the current role I sit in. And so we're diving into that beautiful first line, love is patient. So, first of all, we have to define how we're going to be looking at love throughout this entire journey. We're going to be looking at love as the golden rule, do unto others as we want done unto you. Looking at love as we are called to love all of God's creation the same way that God loves us. Does not mean that we just carte blanchely forgive and forget everything. Forgiving is not forgetting, which can be a whole other separate subject someday, but we are still called to do everything we do in leadership with that love and servantship that God shows us each and every day. I would say I'll probably end up using the terms love and servantship almost intertwined, because loving is serving. If you're living out true love, you are serving others. However, we are rooted today in patience. So this is hard. This is hard even just out in personal life, but in a school leadership realm, being patient can be extremely difficult. But I need to kind of just paint the scenario here right now. You got, whether you're a teacher, a new leader, a veteran leader, you know that at any given point, there are 15 to 30 to 45 to 200, depending on your role, people all wanting something and all have a number one priority in their life at something. Now, there's chances that the number one priority can be the same for some people. And there's chances that number one priority are not going to be the same for every single person in that room. Let me jump back to some of my teaching days, just for an example for there. At any given point, if I had 15 kids in the classroom, 5 that are number one priority may be exactly what we're set out to do for the day, curriculum-wise. Another 5 may be their number one priority is trying to figure out where they're getting their meal tonight for dinner, and not like which restaurant am I going to. Am I going to have either the food at home in the refrigerator, or I'm going to be able to find food or get food? There may be 2 or 3 others that mom and dad got a big fight that morning, and they are their number one priority is knowing, is my mom and dad's relationship okay? Is this the final straw that's leading to their divorce? Those kind of things. Someone else maybe had a terrible night. I work at the high school realm, so they had a breakup with a boyfriend or girlfriend, and their number one priority is trying to figure out where does my life go from here, because this is a high level traumatic event at this juncture of my life that my first boyfriend or girlfriend I have broken up with. And then the other person, we'll just leave that last person out to lunch. Their number one priority is just to get, let's bring them back in. They're going to be the social goofball that their number one priority is to feel loved and accepted in a different way than what may be acceptable in the classroom, because they don't necessarily get that positive affirmation from the peers in other realms, or even from home in that other realm. So right away, right there, as a teacher who's setting out to teach curriculum and do all these different things, I only have a third of my class on board. And that may even, depending on your school setting, that may even be a generous number to begin with there. So how do you navigate that? How do you bring in those other 2/3 in our example to bring them into what we're doing today as our lesson, to try to get them through this activity while still showing them that there's love? So what you don't do is you don't say, you 5, yes, you stay with me, the rest of you 10, go forth and do whatever, because that's not going to help. So you have to first, within your patience realm, build those relationships and bring the people in to let them know that thing that you're worried about right now it's going to be okay. It's going to work out. This is where I need you right now. And then slowly use that relationship and that trust building to bring people in with that. But that requires a lot of patience on the teacher part. Flip it over to the administrative side, where now that is magnified because now your teachers all have a different number one priority, from I'm out of classroom supplies, so I need these, to this kid is misbehaving in my class for the 5th time, all the way to where's my parking spot? Real fights. And what I would say to that is, the higher up you go in the education totem pole, the more those things that you don't think of in your current realm, like moving from teacher to administrator, or from a building level administrator to a system level administrator, are all kind of within your thought process. And then it's more people bringing those concerns to you. And sometimes people jump steps in the ladder when they should go to like a building level administrator, they jump just straight to the system level administrator. Or if they're not talking to the teacher first, they're jumping to the principal first, those kind of things. So it really is, as you move up in the leadership chain, that practice of patience. And how do you, when more things are coming at you and you're wanting to be less and less patient, how do you still show that patience and that God love to each and every person that you're interacting with? And oftentimes it boils down to just handling things in a calm, loving manner, that your calm presence right away tells that person who may be in a heightened state or a panic state, it's going to be okay. We're going to get this figured out. Let's first work through these steps and take a deep breath, and it's going to be fine. So when we're called to love and be patient, we're called to, as leaders, really show people that patience, even when it's a little thin on our side, which happens quite a bit, and let them know that's going to be okay and that we're going to be there for them and walk with them. And at the same time, you may not be able to always walk with all 7 or 8 issues right in front of you at the same time. So you have to kind of balance that out and communicate to them, hey, yes, I am going to work with you on this. I have to take care of this one other thing first, and then I'll come back to you. I'm hoping this was helpful. I'm hoping this whole deep dive through 1 Corinthians will be helpful to you. I hope everyone has a great rest of the week and a wonderful weekend.